So the variation to this would just be as I get into my takeaway, I'm just gonna lightly pick my foot up, replant it.
Okay.
So now from here, I'm on center, my pressure's already moved forward. Now I'm into a position to where I can use this as a decelerator so that my trail side can accelerate around that. Does that make sense?
And so like part of that whole point, it sounds like, is to be able to shift your pressure, weight, we'll use those terms interchangeably for the sake of this video,
Yep.
without like a big mass shifting of your body.
Without a massive and a longer drug out transfer of energy.
Yeah,
So
okay.
like this would be a long drug out transfer of energy. It's almost slower in other words.
Yes, got
So
it.
this
okay.
would be a little bit faster, earlier, quicker spike in energy, and I would say probably more efficient.
All right, guys, the golf season has started, and if you want to have the best season of your life, I'd like to help you do that. For the first time ever, we're now opening our annual membership. We sold out at the end of the last year. We're opening a limited number of spots for you, and I'd like to be your golf coach for this year. If you're already out playing, things you're struggling with, and I want you to go out and have the same results you had last year. If you want to play better this year, we got to do something different. These videos are super helpful, but when we could see your swing and help give you personalized coaching, it makes all the difference in the world. It made all the difference in the world for me. Over 10,000 golfers we've already coached. I want to have that for you as well. You're going to get 12 months of coaching for 50% off retail. It's like literally the price of what I charge for 2 hours of in-person. You're getting 12 whole months for that. 24/7 access to all the coaches. Ask any questions. We'll hold your hand and guide you along the way. All of our master classes, all of our practice plans, all of our live seminars, over $4,000 worth of training videos, all included as a bonus. It's valid from today through May 10th. There are limited spots. I really hope that I'll see you there. I know it'll be the best investment you've ever made in your golf game. We can really, really help you out. CogornoGolf.com. We'll put that in the link in the description down below. All right, guys, in today's video, we have Jack Nicklaus, Sam Snead, Trevor Salzman, Eric Cogorno. Dream team. What a foursome, huh?
Oh yeah.
But in person, we've got just Trevor and Eric, no Jack and Sam, even though we're going to look at their golf swings today a little bit and talk about a move that they use in their swing that we want you to use in your swing, or a variation of it to help you strike the ball better. And Trevor, this one's all about the lower body. It's all about weight transfer and how the feet work. And obviously we'll play some Jack and Sam and we'll put them on the screen. We can see they're famous obviously for some big backswing turns, some lifting the heel up, lots of lead knee in. Two of the best golfers of all time.
Yeah, for sure.
And when it comes to weight shift and weight transfer, that's an area where a lot of players struggle with. So I'd like to run through that today, how to shift weight, how to shift pressure, some easy things they can use in their golf swing. But Trevor, if we're talking at the most basic level, in terms of like shifting weight and pressure, I know you I saw you recently about how to do it while staying pretty centered in the swing.
Yeah.
And some easy concepts for people.
For sure. So going into the concept, the reason why I like this concept, like you said, is when I stay centered. For me, staying centered, I think that allows us as the player to strike the golf ball more consistently day in and day out. When we start looking at weight transfer, and I'm going to say back when I was taught, and probably when you were taught, is I was taught to get way back here behind it, shift way left, then extend and hit. For me, that caused a lot of contact issues. Not saying, I'm not trying to knock on people that helped me out, because I'm very appreciative of what they did. It's just how I think the golf swing has changed over the days right here, more modernized right here. So when we look at weight transfer, when somebody's moving this direction and then moving that direction, I view that as kind of a slow and long drug out transfer in energy right there. So when we look at the simplicities, firstly, how easy can we transfer weight? Well, me standing right here, if I do this, that's a weight transfer. So if I pick my foot up completely off the ground, that means all my pressure transferred to here while I'm staying on this axis right here.
Okay.
So this right here, this could be a weight transfer. Just me picking my feet up right here, I'm able to maintain this axis and I can transfer energy pretty aggressively, but also I can move it faster. It's a faster spike, in other words. So if you think about this, if somebody came in and they chopped me off at the knee right in here, it would appear that all my mass is moving forward, but initially, where does all my pressure go to?
Yeah.
Then I re-grab it and I can go. Now I can re-grab it quick and I can go. Similar things that we've seen in baseball, etc., stuff like that.
Yep.
Guys, like we see baseball player pretty aggressive, pretty fast pickup replants right there. We're not seeing a baseball player going this way, but I think that's what we see more out of golf swings right there. So looking at this right in here, and what I like about this variation of, I've called a variation of the step drill that I've seen a lot of other great coaches do as well. So the variation to this would just be, as I get into my takeaway, I'm just going to lightly pick my foot up, replant it.
Okay.
So now from here, I'm on center, my pressure's already moved forward. Now I'm into a position to where I can use this as a decelerator so that my trail side can accelerate around that. Does that make sense?
And so like part of that whole point, it sounds like, is to be able to shift your pressure, weight, we'll use those terms interchangeably for the sake of this video,
Yep.
without like a big mass shifting of your body.
Without a massive and a longer drug out transfer of energy.
Yeah,
So like this would be a long drug out transfer of energy. It's almost slower in other words.
Yes, got it.
So this would be a little bit faster, earlier, quicker spike in energy, and I would say probably more efficient.
More efficient. Can we hit one with that?
Yeah, absolutely. So when I do this right in here, I'm going to feel like I get to my takeaway, the foot's up, and I'm replanted almost by P3 right there.
Interesting, okay.
So by P3, I'm already planted.
So once your hand, so takeaway like shaft parallel or kind of hands hip high, that's when you're picking the foot up.
Yeah, that's when I'm picking the foot up, and then I'm very quickly putting it back down into the turf.
So it's picking it up about here-ish.
Yeah.
And it's already down by like left arm parallel.
Yeah, and it's already back down on the ground by 3. Because I know this is a bigger skill set, and it's harder for a lot of people to be able to distinguish when do I need to get pressure forward.
Right.
And I think you and I, what we see on a lesson tee on a weekly, daily basis is we see people, they get up here, everything goes together. Well, now everything's in a constant acceleration, which becomes a balance loss, and then we're trying to save it, decelerate late, and then we might say the player becomes a little bit handsier at the bottom.
Okay. Let's see the drill with the pick and the foot up. I think that's a nice, easy.
So I'll do this one slow so you can see it. So I'm going to go here.
Swing. And when that was a nice hit too. When let me hop in there and try that, Trevor. When you're doing this, because obviously when we're talking weight shift and pressure, we're going to get to more of the Jack Nicklaus, Sam Snead as we go, and how you can turn this in your full swing. But first things first, like obviously when I'm hitting an iron, I'm starting relatively even.
Yeah, let's call it neutral.
Just to keep whatever. And then as I'm making my back swing, as I'm going back here, like I might have, if I wasn't doing the step, maybe like 70% or so of the pressure in my foot and my right foot by this point, without my body having gone way to the right.
Yep.
But it's at that point when in reality that I would start going from 70, 30 kind of back to like almost 50-50 by the top.
Yep.
And that's, I'm assuming, is part of the point of like feeling this drill to get a sensation of that.
Yeah, I think most of us are very late in getting there. I want to see it get there earlier.
Get a forward sooner.
Right, like what we see out of a lot of tour players. We see there where the commentators on TV will say, "Well, look how early they're driving their hips forward before they've gotten to the top."
Yes, okay.
Similar concept here.
So when I'm hitting with this, I don't need to like step forward.
Nope.
I'm just putting it back in like the same spot.
Up, down.
Okay, up, down. Up, down for about the take. Well, I'll just try kind of one mellow here first. Yeah, I mean, that feels really nice. That feels really easy for me, athletic.
Yeah. And
maybe slightly forward sooner than I would, but I'm a guy who already like goes forward fast.
Yeah.
So for me, it's not going to feel that different. But to your point, for someone who's not used to that, that might definitely feel up, down sooner. Yeah, I mean, that feels excellent. That's about how, from like a timing perspective, it should look.
I would think so, absolutely.
Okay.
And I think to your point right there, what I think this can help a lot of us out here with is this isn't a crazy technical move, but what it adds is it adds an element of rhythm for us now. It adds an element of rhythm and it gets sequence moving in the proper order.
Yeah, I like that. Hell, I could just play like that.
Yeah,
Those are 3 of the best shots I hit all day.
I've contemplated it.
So like when you're doing that, Trevor, let's say kind of step 2 to this and kind of getting into the Sam Snead, you can hop in here, in the Sam Snead and Jack, because obviously we'll see, from them, if we watch them on the screen, they had these big old heel up, knee in moves. So let's say the player, obviously if you want to take a little step when you play, let it rip.
Yeah.
But if we want to transfer this into a normal swing, I know there's sort of like two variations. You have kind of a unique way to do it. Why don't we talk about the heel up option first,
Okay.
and maybe some things for them to watch if they go that route.
Yep.
And then maybe the option you prefer even better.
Yep. So I would say, so the heel up route, I think the heel up route, I don't teach this very often, but the heel up route I would say is for the player that maybe struggles with finishing their turn. So a little bit more internal rotation of the hip allows this to go here, and they have a platform that they can replant the heel on right there. So I would say that's the added benefit to that, if there is one. Yeah.
And that's sort of like when you guys, we'll show the Jack and the Sam on the screen. Those were guys, especially with the longer clubs, right? Were like huge, big old backswing turns, lots of power, while their body stayed very centered, to your point, right? Big old backswing turns. So, okay, so maybe someone's like getting a little older, maybe they're lacking flexibility, they want to get a little bit bigger turn with it. They can transfer this into the heel up. And in theory, if they were to do that, before we talk about some things to watch for, can you demonstrate what that would look like? Are they feeling like heel up at the same spot, heel down right when they start down?
So I think this is the important piece of this drill right here, is where I see it going wrong, heel up for some people, is we'll go here and they just go heel up and leg lock, or heel back down and leg lock. Okay, and it actually pulls them away from the ball. So it's like, what do I have to hit up against now right here?
Okay.
So I think it's important, if you are going to be the player, if you decide to do this, I think it also needs to be a re-pressure into the ball of your foot. If we think about the strength of the foot right here, I mean, your big toe is a really, really strong part of your foot. Like if we're going to vertically jump, that's going to be from there. We're not going to try and vertically jump so from our heels right there. So I think it's important to go pressure into that. Then it's pushing or moving pressure back the direction of the heel. So make sure if you go here, it's not just throwing that straight back into the heel to where it's a leg lock and it actually moves you off the ball and we don't have a platform to hit up against. That would be what I would caution people of right there.
Can you show us the good version with a hip? So kind of up and down, but with the pressure working towards the lead toes a little bit more.
Yeah, so that'd be...
yeah, just as like a little bit of a cue.
Yeah, so that would be how I would do it that way.
That might have been your best shot of it.
If it was pretty good, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that like let me try one like that, Trevor. Actually. So so if I was taking that step.
Yep.
If I was taking that step into a normal, now I just go heel up, heel down, but I'm still, my heel's on the ground, but I still feel the pressure here.
Bingo.
Okay, got it. Heel goes up, heel down. And the heel's coming up kind of at that same spot.
I would say it's about the same spot as the previous one we showed, yeah?
Okay, so that's starting about here, and I'm feeling like that's replanting pretty early. It won't happen in reality, but that's the feel. Heel up, heel down. Yeah, that feels really solid for me too there, dude.
Again, it's a good rhythm for players that struggle with rhythm and sequence. This is a very good way of practicing.
Yeah, great rhythm with that. I know when we're using that though, and then I want to show this second version that you do, different version of this. The other thing we mentioned, if you guys are going to do this version, sometimes when we see the heel come up, we would see two big faults, right? One would be when the heel comes up, the lead hip going way in with it.
Yes.
Which can lead to that like early extension on your backswing.
Yep.
So we want to avoid that. And also, Trevor, I know you see sometimes when the heel goes up, we might end up getting way too down and forward in the backswing.
Yeah, over flexing into the lead side in the backswing.
Okay. So if we're getting those, we do want to watch for those too. A little bit of heel up and heel down. So the heel going back down, man, that feels nice. The heel going back down with the pressure forward. Okay. So now, Trevor, can you show us your slightly different version you would do?
Yeah. So this is one that was big for me. So to Eric's point and what he showed right here is, so the over flexing of the knee, hip coming forward, going into too much flexion in the spine right here.
This is backswing.
Yep. So this is backswing. So the player that goes too much this way, this is what I fell into. Now from here, what's my recovery going to be?
Jump up out. Yeah.
I'm going to jump out of it and I'm going to come backwards, and now I'm going to be throwing loft at it again. So what I like about this version that I'm going to show you is I will actually practice going lead toe up. lead toe up. So when my lead toe goes up, it's really hard to flex my knee and my hip can't come forward. So now this can still work. This can still work, but now where's my only direction I'm going to go from here? Now I have to go back down into the strength of my foot that I can extend off of, or I can push off of, in other words.
Okay.
So this is the one I really like for me, is I'll go toe up in the backswing, replant.
Yeah, that's nice there too.
And that's been the one that's done worlds for me. It's helped a lot of people as well that I've coached.
And obviously, like this, like a lot of things we always talk about, right, guys? Like when you have an issue in your swing, to fix it, you have to feel the opposite and exaggerate.
Yes.
So if you're someone, let me hop in there again, Trevor, to Trevor's point, where you've got too much lead knee going down, too much body down, too much in your toes, what's the opposite of too much in your toes? Is nothing in your toes.
Yeah.
Right, to have the toe up. So I love that theory behind that. I think if you're watching, you try them. Try different ones and see. Like, I really like the heel up one, like the Sam Snead, Jack Nicklaus piece, Trevor, because it's easy for me to get back in my toes anyway.
Yep.
And I just kind of use it as a little bit of a feel. But to your point, if you're someone who goes that way, absolutely love that.
Yep.
That sensation as well. Or even just the quick picking the foot up. The points here being, we don't want huge mass shifts back and forth, right? And we don't want it to go real slow. The better ball strikers do it sooner.
Yep.
And you can get that just by picking the feet up.
Picking the feet up. That's what I like about, truthfully, that's what I like about version 1, is it's a very simple, I mean, we do this every day. We pick our feet up every day. It's like, this is just adding a human nature element to it, to swinging a golf club, as opposed to big, long, drug out transfers of energy. I think I think that out of all of them, that's probably my favorite.
I think that's simple, guys. Just wanted to add a little bit of detail, when to do it, like we talked about, how to practice it, and start with something like an 8-iron or something. Start slow, build your way up. All of Trevor's info is going to be linked down below if you want to go see him for in-person, online, his YouTube channel, great videos. Any questions, always leave a comment down below. Thank you guys for watching.